Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Not Well. I'm Bobby. No Jim today. Jim is across the world enjoying gay Portugal.
Whoa, girl, fuck.
Yes, he's over there living his dream, and I've had to see every picture of it, which is fine. So this week's going to be a little different. First of all, we need you to start calling again. We love all your stories. We love the priest stories. Thatcher, you've been very great. Thatcher gave me a list of questions that I'll be answering later. But I need people to call, okay? Like, I know you guys have crazy stories. Like, I want to know your craziest hookup story. Give me your craziest date ever, your worst date ever. Give me something, okay? We really, really enjoy hearing your stories and being able to talk about them. Because if we're being honest, you guys are the stars here. Like, we need you to be us. Does that make sense? So, like, we need your participation, okay? There's only so many times we can talk about being fat, old, scared of the world, dying. We can only talk about that so much. There's only so many times I can get high and just be like, oh, I mean, you know? So a little interaction will go a long way. If you really enjoy the show, tell us your stories. Tell us what's going on. What's the fucked up thing? What made you not well this week? Like, it's really simple. 614-721-5336. That's 614-721-5336. I feel very spitty right now. Very... I do want to say, if you're a creative person, I wanted to give a book recommendation. It's called The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. And I know I've talked about this before, but I just kind of wanted to show it because I really like it. Basically, this is the creative, like, to be, I'm just going to open the book and I'm going to read a line, okay? We're just going to pretend like this is like a thing, okay? So let's just see what it tells us. This is the universe telling us something. Seeds, and actually opened on an actual, like, chapter's beginning. In the first phase of the creative process, we are to be completely open, collecting anything we find of interest. We can call this the seed phase. We're searching for potential starting points that, with love and care, can grow into something beautiful. At this stage, we are not comparing them to find the best seed. We're simply gathering them. A seed for a song could be a phrase, a melody, a bass line, or a rhythmic feel. For a written piece, it may be a sentence, a character, a sketch, a setting, a thesis, or a plot point. So basically, what I learned from this book is that creativity, if you're a creative person, really is being different. And what I've lacked in my entire, not my career and my hobbies, I always try to be like XYZ. I want to sound like blah, blah, blah. I want to have a podcast like da-da-da. I want to take pictures like so-and-so. I'm going to do these paintings like this person. But never, it can only get you so far, okay? Until originality has to kick in. And so that's why I'm trying to live a different kind of a life to where, sorry, like, something's wrong with my breath today. Like, I can't breathe. I think I'm getting sick, if we're being honest. And I really could use a sick day. By that, I mean, not like terribly, but like, I'm tired. I don't know, something's up. But anyway, so basically what I've learned from this book is that even if you think it's stupid, okay, so like you're doing something, say you're a writer and you want to write a book and you come up with these characters and you're like, you know, we've talked about, what's that fucking thing called? Syndrome. Imposter syndrome. I didn't even see it. Imposter syndrome, okay? Like, it's easy to get it. So when you're making your book, let's just say, and you're getting characters and the imposter syndrome kicks in, you basically say to yourself, this character's not good enough. Like, no, no, we don't want to do that. So you move on from that idea, even though that idea was original, creative, and potentially could be something for somebody. But at the end of the day, you really just need to make it for you, and what comes to you, release it. Because I think the biggest problem, and I have this problem, is that we try to mimic, and we're like, well, this is what's in now, so I'm going to make this music, or this is what's in now. But really, what's in now is already too late. And what is in now? And what are you doing? Is it art, or is it for money? Like, what are you trying to do here? So this is my new approach. Is just anything I create, it's just for me. If people enjoy it, that's cool. If they don't, it's not my problem, and it's not my sword to fall on. And I'm not going to be like, oh my God, nobody likes to listen to me, because honestly, I don't really want people who don't want to listen to me to try to listen to me. I want people who want to be a part of this. Sorry, I almost just burped all over the fucking...
Whoa, girl, fuck.
but I want people to be a part of this and not, just listen because XYZ. I mean, I really want people who can agree with us. I mean, and maybe there's nobody, but I'm not playing this fucking game anymore of being, oh, everybody like me. Oh, I'm going to be nice to everyone. No, if you don't align with me, I don't have time. Okay. If you don't align with what I am doing, the energy is not there. I don't feel like you're supportive. I'm done. I'm not going to put my energy towards it. I might not be done with you, but I'm done with the situation. Like, I'm not going to be like, here, listen, or here, look at my podcast. Everybody listen. No, I don't need to do that. You're going to listen if you want to listen. It'll be found if it's supposed to be found. It's art. It's not supposed to be serious. So here we are. Now, anyway, so that's The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. I just really, and I also need to admit that I did read some of it. I do have a little chapter marker here, but I also got it on audio so that I could listen on the way to the campground a couple weeks ago. But I still brought it with me like I'm a reader. Like, oh, I just love the cover too. Like, I think this is so simple. It's a circle with it looks like a titty, really. It's a circle with a dot in the middle. And I'm thinking, I want to get this tattooed on me. And then I thought to myself, this is the creative act. This is the creative situation. He did this on purpose because I'm looking at now this circle with a little dot as something I connected with personally. And now I'm like, I want that as like a tattoo to remind myself. This is what art is. This is, and this is what creativity is. And he just proved it. Now, I know we all talk about how everybody, all these old politicians, all these old people, we're always talking about it. Biden's saying weird shit. Trump is saying weird shit, but nobody really wants to say that part. Well, I literally caught it last night on a screenshot. And I'm not going to lie to you. It is really annoying to hear, but you have to hear it. It's crazy. It's so unhinged.
But you have a better chance of being struck by lightning than hitting a whale with your boat. There has only been, listen to this, one such whale killed off the coast of South Carolina in the last 50 years. But on the other hand, their windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. Nobody does anything about that. They're washing up on shore. I saw it this weekend. 3 of them came up. You wouldn't see it once a year. Now they're coming up on a weekly basis. The windmills are driving them crazy. They're driving the whales, I think, a little batty. And
listen to that fucking weed.
Are you motherfucking kidding me? The whales are batty. Up, look, here's Jim. Jim just texted. I can't. Anyway, that video is Trump talking in South Carolina to supporters, and I'm literally thinking to myself, this has got to be a fucking joke. We're talking about windmills affecting whales. I understand I'm probably talking about the windmills in the ocean, but why would a windmill affect a whale? We're not talking a propeller in the water, like a boat propeller. We're not talking about, some electric current. We're literally talking about a windmill. And he wants to say that affects whales. Whales don't fly. They swim. Okay. I probably would guess there's dead whales, if this is even true, would be because of climate change and the fact that the fucking ocean is warmer than it's ever been. Now, I'm not a genius and I'm not a scientist. However, that would be my educated guess. So it's so overwhelming. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I really think we need to say, hey, it's time to reset. We need all these dumb, money hungry fucking, there needs to be I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it, like kind of anarchy and like revolution. There's no way we're going to stop these people. They're old. Look at these people who are staying in office, like Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi. And they're like, they can't even speak, but they have something they're hiding. They have something they want: power, money for their family. Like, okay. I actually heard something that said if every billionaire gave $1 billion, or something crazy, like everybody who had more than $10 billion gave $1 billion, then nobody would be poor and homeless, or everybody would be eating and everything. And there's if the top billionaires gave $1 billion, something like that. Are you fucking kidding me? So you're telling me that we can't make this happen? So, and I understand money's money. Everybody's like, I don't want to give away my billions. Don't make dumb financial moves, but if you have $100 billion, I can promise you're probably never going to be poor. As long as you have some liquidation, like you need to have liquid cash, you need to have assets. But babe, like we need to be sharing the wealth with the people who need it. Like there's so many homeless people. There's so many people dying on this world that your money, which really is nothing for you because once you make money, I mean, it's... So anyway, I digress. What I'm saying, though, is we need a reset, and I will stick to that for sure. Now, if that wasn't unhinged enough, I think I have another video. Oh, this fucking kid. I swear to God. Listen to this kid.
You're 30-year-old. 1990s were like the Middle Ages, except not like sword stuff.
How old do you think I am?
30-something? I don't know. 40? No clue.
If you had to guess, what age, like, definitely?
52.
Actually.
Yeah.
You're right.
Everyone who was born in the 90s is dead now. Like, they didn't have stuff like this, like the street sign stuff.
You said street signs?
Yeah, they didn't have that, definitely.
Were there more horses in the 1990s?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I'm thinking the kid thinks 1900s, but that made me feel old. Just in case you were wondering. Okay, so now we have a voicemail that I'm going to go over, and I really wanted to wait for Jim, but I think I just need to say it. Should I wait for Jim? I'll say it. I have things to say. Subject: boyfriend's new church is a problem for me. Hey, Bobby and Jim, I'm 30, my boyfriend's 34, and we've been together for 2 years. He's suddenly into this hip Christian church and wants me to go. I'm an atheist, but not anti-religion. Our relationship is solid, but I've had bad experiences with religion before. How do I handle this without hurting his feelings or compromising myself? Best, confused in Columbus. Well, look, here's my advice to that. Run.
Wow. Oh my God.
I mean, I think I'm going to get in trouble, but I actually don't even think I care. I feel like when you become more religious as an adult, like, and you weren't as a child, like this person apparently wasn't, like, was he ever religious? I don't think so. And then you become religious. It makes me question your sanity. Here's why. Because you can't see, hear. I mean, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, yes, you can. I heard God through. Listen, I used to want God to be so real. And I hate that I'm more agnostic. Like, I don't want to say he's not real, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, all the shit that happens in this world, and just I have a really hard time with it, okay? Because I was literally like used to sit in we had a CCD class one time where I had to sit in the dark and they were like, really connect with Jesus. And so we sat in silence. I think they played like something in the back. I don't even know if it was like fucking Christian chorus or like just meditation music. And I was like, I feel God. I didn't feel God. I used to pray to God to make me straight. And I'm just being honest. If I was God and someone was begging me for something, I would give it to him. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people who are like, if it's God's will. But I think it's really funny that Christians, can I say something else? I'm sorry. I'm going to go on a little tangent, but not really. When Christians say, like, I prayed to God and it's up to his will if I live or die, like they're in a situation that's like not good. But my question is are you not afraid to die? You shouldn't be afraid to die because you're going to live in eternity. And if you live in eternity, then why would you be afraid to die? And then why would you pray to him to keep you alive? I don't know. I just think it's fucking bizarre. Sorry.
Hi, gay.
But as far as you're concerned in Columbus, I feel like you need to keep your lines of communication open. I think you need to express to him how you've had religion affect you in the past and you don't want it to happen again, and that you really, this relationship is something for you. This will be interesting to see how this goes, though, because if he's going to this like hip church, so I'm assuming they do like, oh, everybody comes in with their Starbucks and they sing hymns and they're like, yes, Jesus, like, oh, non-denominational, but yet they're still probably like anti-LGBT and they definitely like are probably the worst people in the world. But there you are. I'm glad that you're sticking up for yourself and not going with him, but I'm just afraid he's going to be influenced by people who want to let Jesus in their lives. And listen, I know we have Christian listeners, and I'm sure you guys hate when we get nasty, but I just get really offended and affected by the fact that you guys can be so for sure about this person in the sky or whatever. You want to call him a man, which I don't think he would be a man or a woman, but that's just me. You assume it's a man in the sky, which I don't know if that doesn't tell you right away that this is all a bunch of bullshit from a bunch of men who've been ruling the world since its creation, since we became societies. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And I'm kind of done with it, to be honest. Like, it's making me unhinged. It's making me want to like punch a wall, and I won't, but I'm just saying, like, just be careful with yourself, talk to your partner. And I don't know. I really don't know. Keep us updated though, because I kind of want to know what you do. I'm not going to give you any solid advice. I guess at this point would be just to communicate. That would be my advice. But that's a situation for sure.
I gave him everything. I was half a virgin when I met him.
Okay, next thing we want to talk about. Okay, there's been some questions for me personally, and this segment's going to be called Questions for Bobby because I'm original. Oh my God, you know what's so crazy? I thought I was getting hot in here, and I was like, I have the fan on. Well, I have this big old fucking bag in the. Oh my God, now I can feel the air. Wow. Okay. I literally was sitting here like starting to sweat, and then all of a sudden I was like, why is there no? I have the fan on. And, well, it was a laundry basket thing in the way. So it was a whole tote. So like it was blocking the entire wind. So anyway, Thatcher on our Patreon, he made a suggestion that said, like, you know, whenever Jim's not here, maybe do like a segment where like people can ask questions or whatever. So I tasked him with, said, hey, my next episode, I'm probably gonna do solo. Like, can you give me some ideas, some questions? So I took all of his questions, and of course, you know, I love ChatGPT. So I plugged in ChatGPT, and I got the 10 most juicy questions for me. And I've even given my answers. So I'm going to be very clear about this. Okay. So this category is personal questions. If you could date a perfect guy, how would he look? Now, as you know, if I were to be stranded on an island with a bunch of redheads and blondes, I would not be mad. If we're talking physical, and it's weird because I'm like the opposite of a lot of people. A lot of people are like tall, dark, and handsome, or, you know, a big, strong black man. No, I want him to be pale. I'm talking pale. We've talked about pink. I want their dicks to be pink. I want pale. I want ginger. I want blonde. You can be tan. Don't get me wrong. And don't get me wrong. I don't know if I spoke English there or not. Don't get me wrong. Like, I find other people attractive. Okay. Like, I do. If you're asking me, and you're asking me legitimately to tell you what I'm into physically, it's gingers and blondes, 6 foot, 200 pounds, 7-inch cut, big balls. Okay. That's what I'm into. Now, does that mean I can't be into a dark haired, tan, Spanish speaking person? No. Uncut? No, it doesn't. It means, you know, and I'm not really dating right now, and I'm not really available, if you will. But per se, if I was, that's where I would go. I would lean towards, but at the same time, you know what? You can't really control who you fall for. And that's what I want to say, is that my ideal guy actually isn't about their looks. It's about the fact that they can communicate openly, honestly, make you feel good, and not make you feel like a piece of shit. That's what I'm looking for. So if you like jive with me and vibe with me, and you know how to like speak to me in a tone that's like nice. I'm not saying that people don't do that now. I'm just saying, like, it's hot to me when people are nice, and when people flirt, but they're like a nice flirt. It's not like I'm just going to fuck you kind of flirt, which some guy, oh God, on Sunday, I went to a little tea dance, if you will. And a guy in the bathroom, he was probably 70. Okay. Like, I'm going to go pee. He's literally like cruising me, like peeking around the corner and shit. I'm like, hi, I'm literally peeing. So that doesn't turn me on. What turns me on is like shy. What turns me on is like kind of timid, but also, like, not forceful. I don't want to say that. I just like when people show boundaries. Like, I like boundaries, to be honest. I guess that's what I'm going to say. That's my answer to that. The next question. Do you obsess over a celebrity or famous person? To be honest, no. I idolize like musicians, like Burt McCracken of the Used. I really like Deadmau5, but not the way he looks. I like people's I guess I'm more of a personality kind of a person, to be honest with you. But like celebrities, to me, I don't even think I could name a hot celebrity right now. Like, oh, I'm so into XYZ. I really don't know. The only thing I can think of is I do like if I'm watching a show and there's a bad guy or like a guy that has like bad tendencies. For example, True Blood, Alexander Skarsgård. Like, he's so hot in that. He's not nice, but he's hot. And so I would say he's one of them. I really don't know, though. Like, I honestly don't even know who's like the it person anymore. I feel like I'm fading slowly away from society and not knowing what the fuck's going on, which is fine. I'm kind of okay with that. But it's just a weird reality when you're like, I'm fading away. Like, we're fading away. Anyway, I'm not going to get dark. Okay. What conspiracy theories do you truly believe? Okay. So I wrote this down so I could try to make sense of it. So first of all, you know about my simulation theory. If you've listened to the show for more than a year, you probably heard me say it. If you haven't, if you're new and you just don't feel like going back, I believe that we are in a simulation. I really can see the way it's like we're controlled by some. I don't know. Like, I'm ready for the reset button to happen and be like, what the fuck? Are we like a virtual reality? No, we're like real people, but like maybe we just think we're real. And I always think like, and this is my bigger theory. So to add on to that, I also think that, and no, I'm not high right now. So this is like my real self talking. So not my high self, like going into a tangent. So this is how you know I'm actually kind of a conspiracy theorist. But I really think that, okay, so let's break it down science-wise. Everybody has an atom, right? Or there's atoms everywhere. I mean, I don't really know. Again, I'm not like some scientist, but I'm just saying, like, or imagine cells in a body, okay? So we all have white blood cells. I imagine our universe, so what we know, is actually just one white blood cell, quote unquote, in a bigger entity. I don't know what that entity is, but I look at it like, you know, in an ant's world, we're huge giants, but if dinosaurs are here, they'd be the huge giants to us. I don't know if that even makes sense, but I just really believe that like maybe there's something so much bigger that we have no fucking idea. Like, we're just energy powering something bigger that eventually we will get to, but right now we're not there. I don't know. Or we just die and it's fine, but like, I really just want to think that like there's a bigger purpose for this whole thing. And when you really look at I just can't. The universe is so weird, like how big it is. It's insane. Everything's insane. Big Bang, like we basically exploded. I don't know. I can't. So anyway, yeah, my conspiracy theories are basically like I'm not a flat earther. That's weird. Although I will say I did get into like the moon situation for just like a second, because I think it's really bizarre that we haven't been back. And we're talking 60 years ago, we went to the moon. Okay. Why did we not go back? Why are we now just discovering the dark side of the moon? Like, now countries are fighting it there. It's like almost a conspiracy to me that like it's a moneymaker, it's a money driver, it's a way to keep people in check. It's a way to keep people like, oh my God, this is something bigger. But like, why have we not been back to the moon? Why have we not built a base on the moon? Why don't we have like a space laser on the moon? What is going on? I mean, I feel like this is the questions that I want to know. Why are we not back there? So that's what I want to know. That's my conspiracy. Okay. So now, the next thing. Oh God, it's like, oh shit. I think I'm getting sick. I can hear it. Do you listen to any other podcasts? Yes, I do. So I listen to The Bold and the Beautiful, which is Trixie and Katya's podcast. And I'm not even kidding you. I'm Trixie and Jim is Katya. Like, that's kind of how our personalities are in real life. Like, I'm kind of like grumpy, you know, sort of like more business-like, and Jim is more like blah, and then like just blah. That's how I would describe it. So I listened to that. I listened to Absolutely Not with Heather McMahon. If you don't listen to her, know her, go find her because she's about to have a Netflix special come out. But she's really a cool girl from Atlanta. She's about 34, 35, 36, maybe 37. I don't know. Maybe she's just in her 30s. I don't fucking know. Well, I know she's in her 30s. But she actually grew up close to me. So I relate with her. But she's just a cool chick. Like, she's one of those girls that you want to, like, go get drunk and stoned with and just, like, laugh in the backyard. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But she just seems like a cool chick. She's really funny. I've seen her in stand-up twice. My friend Courtney's the one that really got me into her. I know my friend Heather listens to her. I know there's a lot of people. Emma listens to her. Like, a lot of people listen to her that listen to our show. She's just unhinged. She would be like if I had my own solo show, but I could actually, like, tell stories without, like, and like. So, anyway. I also listen to Dateline and 2020. And just like random crime shows, for example. Like right now I'm listening to, let me find it because it's really good, actually. It's about a murder. It's about a weird murder that happened on this land, but it's not the first time a murder has happened there. It's called Blind Plea, okay? Blind Plea. So it's very interesting so far. It's kind of got me sucked in, so I'm okay with it. So, I just took a selfie like a fucking creep. The next thing. Okay. Okay, so this was an interesting question to me, and I think it's a story that I need to tell. When making the podcast, what made you choose Jim? And I think this question's interesting, but I also think it's kind of I don't think I chose Jim. I think the universe put us together. I mean, the minute I met Jim, we just clicked. It was really funny. I would laugh my ass off to where I couldn't breathe. Like, my chest would hurt. We would just cry, laugh. We knew each other for like a couple years before. Sorry, my fibromyalgia is kicking up. That was a joke.
I gave him everything.
Yeah. I met Jim like a couple years ago. I guess it was probably 2018. And he just cracked me the fuck up. The way he would do things, the way he would just like kind of he was really authentic, actually. You know, he can be a little wild, but I think it's funny as fuck to me. Like, I just think it's so funny, and I just clicked with him. And when we're one-on-one together and there's no other like issues, we are like, there's nothing that bothers us. We're very good together as far as like just communicating and like figuring out. I know he compromises probably a little bit more because I'm like, I don't want to go out. But I mean, reality is that we do click. So when we went to Colorado and we went to Denver, we went a day early before everybody else, before we were going on a ski trip to Breckenridge with Michael and our other friend. And so we were like, let's go early. We have the day. I can take off the day. Let's go early. So we fly out early. I get a packet of edibles. And I was like, can you babysit me while I do this? Because Jim's just a drinker. So it's like, I was like, can you, just in case something happens? He's like, yeah. So I'm sure you've heard the Panera Bread story. I basically saw somebody who did not look so well. And I said, I don't know if it was a he or she, but I just said, she's not doing so well. So that stuck. She's not doing so well. Oh my God, she's not doing so well. So continue on. I always wanted to have a podcast. I was into the radio stations when I was younger. I always wanted to be a radio DJ, like a morning jockey. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode, 97.5, The Morning Crew. I'm Bobby. Like, that's what I wanted. Okay. I wanted to like giggle and do gags and do whatever. But radio became a dime a dozen, and radio started fading because it just was. At the time of it used to be a way bigger thing, and now it's like circling back, but in podcast form, which I think is cool because I do like morning shows. I did really like listening to things on the way to work, especially in Atlanta when you're driving an hour to go 10 miles. Like, you need something every day to like kind of look forward to. So some of these radio shows were like huge hits. Like, they made a lot of money too, like the DJs. Anyway, so once I knew, I knew podcasts were a thing, but of course I had imposter syndrome. So I was like, oh, we can't do this. But after I met Jim and after we were hanging out, I was like, we should really do a podcast. And it was like kind of a joke at first, but then I was like, I'm not joking, bitch. Okay. So we set it up, and the first recording is absolutely horrifying. And if I ever, I mean, I'm talking like the first recording I ever did is terrible. I really wish I could find it and play it because it is like not the first episode, the first recording. Because what you don't realize is the minute you get a microphone in front of you, it changes the way your voice. I was trembly. I was scared every time. I'd be so nervous. It's just us. And I would be freaking the fuck out. It's not like I'm live on the radio. I'm literally just sitting across from Jim and I'd be like, just because I didn't like my own voice. I hated my voice. And now I can't get enough of it, obviously. So to answer the question, I didn't really pick Jim. I feel like Jim was put here not for this reason, but like I think it was not really I'm going to choose someone. It was, let's do this. Not, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I was like, I'm going to do a podcast. Who would be a good host? And I didn't have like a list of people. It was like, hey, do you want to do a podcast? And that's it. It was over. And we couldn't think of the name. We were like, because we wanted to do like a gay theme, obviously. And I kind of envisioned it. Okay, so here's the other thing. I envisioned it kind of like gayish, where, you'd have a topic like, okay, this week we're going to talk about coming out. And next week we'll talk about anal sex. And the next week we'll talk about straight people. Now, okay, that format to me is just so basic, and I'm not knocking anybody for it. Like, I think it's great if your show's, obviously their show's successful, but that's not me. And so that was me not being creative. It was me being like falling in line. And so the way that we've evolved over 214 fucking episodes is kind of tremendous. And it's honestly like strange because I never knew. I mean, we had Miz. I mean, Miz was a very important part to the show. I mean, it's like, it's a crazy thing how everything happened and then through COVID. And so anyway, long story short, I think it was just sort of like I think COVID actually galvanized it because it was like, what else are we doing? So we would do like Skype, or we were doing the over the internet kind of shit. And it was like crazy, such a crazy time. But I also think that also hindered our show a little bit was because we were like about to do street interviews and we were like, yeah, let's go out and like talk to people. And then I was scared. Like I got scared after that. So anyway, so that's that answer. Now we're going to get a little sexual. Do you consider yourself more sexy or brainy? I mean, obviously I'm more sexy than brainy. However, I do think that, I'm actually a kind of a smart person. I just hide it a lot. I would rather be like goofy and stupid and like silly than being like, oh, I'm smart. I don't want to show my cards all the time either. So I think like it's something I have where like I can pull seriousness out and I can get shit done, but also I really like just like smoking weed and doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm smart, but I'm also just sort of like, I'd rather be goofy. I don't know. That's just me. So, and then so sexy would be my answer, but I'm really just sexy to a certain amount of people because of my bear status. But I mean, it is what it is. There's people who love me and there's people that think I'm disgusting. And you know what? There's people I think are hot and there's people I think are disgusting. So it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's coming from a sexy brainiac. Okay. What is your favorite place to be massaged? Okay. So listen, when I was in high school, there was a girl named Jenny Brooks. Okay. And Jenny had a size triple D cup. She had curly hair. She was a hoot. We used to cry, laugh. She was so fun. She used to do Brenda out of my face. But she had these fucking nails. And she would do her nails like on my arms. And she would do it like on my head. She would do this. If I'm going to get a massage for pleasure, per se, I want it on my head. My dick head. No, my head, my top of my head. I think that is the hot, like getting my hair shampooed and like massage. Oh my God. I could do that for an hour. Just please just like rub my head. Okay. That to me is the like so soothing. You could put me to sleep. It's so soothing. I feel just relaxed. It's great. Okay. So there's that. But then I just had a deep tissue massage actually last Tuesday. So we had already recorded last episode. So I didn't really talk about it. So I had my first like deep tissue massage. Hot black guy. Okay. Bobby, I'm like, oh, I was like kind of scared because I was like, oh my God, he's hot. First of all, and of course you have all your fantasies in your head. Like, should I reach out and grab his wiener? No, I didn't do it. Okay. I'm not a fucking total creep, but he had like these hands that were just, I mean, he was putting his whole body into it. And there was a spot on my back that he spent probably 35 of the hour on, just this spot. And he kept grabbing the muscle and like moving it. I was trembling, okay? And I was in pain, but like not the pain where you're like, oh my God, please stop. It was a pain of like, I know that this is going to be helpful for me. So I need to just bear down and fucking do it. Then he rolls me over and starts doing the thing where he goes behind your shoulders and he reaches his hand underneath you on the table. And I'm looking up at this light going, of course, I'm in creation mode. I'm like, it'd be really cool to make a video just of like looking up at everywhere I go. Just like looking up at what's above me. And it's always like a light, but it's always something different. Like, oh, it could be a fan or, oh, and these lights were like Edison bulbs. And it was like, I felt like it was like in a warehouse looking kind of thing. So it was like very industrial, if you will. But I'm laying there and all of a sudden I felt myself like, well, you know, my narcolepsy. So I felt myself kind of like fade. And then he's like, all right. And I was like, oh my God, I think I just fell asleep. Like I literally don't remember the end, but I don't remember closing my eyes. So anyway, to answer your question, my head for pleasure, but I do now really like a deep tissue massage, even though like I want to try to do it like once a month, but that shit hurt. And then it hurt the next day. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sore, but it's that good sore. It's that, oh, and actually it really has helped. I noticed. So I'm going to try to keep it up. Okay. Next question. What is your most embarrassing hookup memory? Oh God. Okay. So as you know, I used to be a Craigslist whore, which is fine. I'm not judging. But I had a hookup one time, and I think I might have told the story, but I feel like I need to tell it maybe in a little more detail. There was a man who lived in like Country Club of the South or somewhere like that. I don't remember, Alpharetta, some fucking thing in Atlanta. Okay. Close to my house where I lived in the apartments. And he lived in a gated community with his golf course and huge, like 10,000 square foot house. Like this guy was like money. Come to find out he invented radiation seeds. And the only reason I knew that, or he like was part of something with radiation seeds for prostate cancer, something with prostates, shocker. But he was a married gentleman apparently who lived in this big mansion. And I decided to drive my fucking hoopty ass. Well, I don't even know what I was driving at the time. And I was like, I felt like trash. But I had to go to like a guard shack and I was like waiting. I was like, oh my God. And people were behind me. And then the guy was like, I was like trying to dial the code and I was like, oh my God, it's not working. But eventually he like answered another email and it worked. So I was already flustered as it is. Oh, and by the way, the only reason I know so back in the Craigslist days, before Craigslist got smart, before killers, that wasn't a funny joke probably, but it used to show your email address and people were dumb. Okay. Especially like in your 40s at that time, because it was still like computers are new and emails, blah, blah, blah. It's like AOL. It'd be like John Smith at AOL.com. And you're like, oh, okay. Like John Smith, AOL, Alpharetta. And then, oh, you're a politician. Got it. Oh, you're a doctor who created like seeds. Got it. Oh, you're in computer, blah, blah. Everybody. And that was like MySpace days. So like everybody, it was very bizarre, but I was able to screen a lot of the people and find out who they were. And that's how I would decide, okay, this is probably going to be safe. So I get to this guy's house and he's like, just come up to the front door, you know, don't be like obvious, like hook, like act like you're a salesperson or something. So I think I probably like was like, okay. And here I am, I'm probably 24. And so I go to the door and all I wanted was a rub down. Okay. That was the other thing. I really had a thing for daddies and rub downs. Like, I like an older man to come rub me down with oils and it's just hot to me. I don't know what it is. It's probably trauma from childhood, but I just like it. So I go to this guy's house. I see like, I'm like, okay. He's like, okay, let's go to the basement. I'm like, okay, beautiful house. Honestly, it's beautiful. I go to the basement and then we go to his like back room. Okay. So it's like unfinished, but it's like, it's nice. You know what I mean? So it's like not like trashy unfinished. It's like, oh, painted floor basement, like kind of thing. And there's this huge table. I'm like, okay. And he like kind of puts his hand, I remember this. He put his hand on the table and like, come on up. So then he strips me down and I lay on the table and I'm laying down. And again, I'm looking up at the ceiling and seeing lights that are like, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy literally could chop me up into pieces right now. Now, mind you, I am 6'5". And mind you, I was a young buck. So I probably could have got away with it, but he could have slit my throat easily right there and I would have never known. Because I'm going to lay there and act like, oh, this is so relaxing. Okay. So then I don't know what happened, but I think the embarrassing part was I got freaked out. I was like, okay, well, I don't really know. And I was like kind of like panicking at that point. So what did I do? I just got right into it. And I was like starting to trigger. I was like, this is just so hot. And I like relieved myself, if you will. So then he was like, oh, okay, like whatever. He was older. He was just kind of creepy. I don't know. It was just not a really good scene. And so then I had to sneak out of his back basement. I don't know why I had to sneak out that way, but I don't know if somebody was home and that's why I left. I don't know what happened. But I walk out the basement side door and walk through the yard to my car. So I would say that's probably the most embarrassing, awkward, bad hookup. I mean, it was just one of those things where it wasn't even like a hookup. I just really wanted to be rubbed down, and it was scary. I was scared for my life. Okay, next question. I think I only have one more. Have you ever slept with someone, then woke up wishing you never have? No, because I don't really sleep with people. I mean, the worst thing I'm gonna do is like jerk you off and give you a blowjob, probably. And if that's even that, I probably wouldn't do. I'm actually like, I talk a big game, but I'm actually kind of shy in real life. Like, I'll be like, oh, stop. Even though I'm like, I'll be like, oh, I want a dick in my mouth. I'll also be like, you go, oh, here's my. I'd be like, oh, stop. Like, oh, I'd be like awkward. The only time I've ever felt like guilty or like weird, and well, first of all, I used to always come and be guilty as fuck and be like, all right, bro, see ya. I'm over that now. But I think a lot of people are guilty when they come. I don't know. Ladies, are you? I don't know. But this, I don't even know what I was saying now. Oh no. God, I need to stop doing weed. It's bad. So the only thing I can say is that there's been moments where there's been questionable, not motives on my part, but like maybe there was a drunk straight guy there and I was like, yeah, we could like, not that anything ever really happened, but there was one time that something happened and I can't confirm or deny it. And I was scared shitless and I was so guilty. But like, it was really bizarre. One night in my apartment when I first moved out, I was 22 and there was this really hot country guy upstairs that was visiting. He was kind of an asshole. Like, he's kind of scary. Like, he probably would have murdered me and chopped me up as well. But I remember we were the last ones up and I was like, we were just fucking hammered. And I remember him pulling out his dick. And I remember him like letting me touch it. Now, mind you, I was in a blackout. Okay. And Heather, this was at our apartment, just so you know. And I was scared shitless. I was like, oh my God, he's going to come down and kill me in the morning. Or like, I was just so scared of everything. So that was the only time I was kind of like, oh, why did I touch his wiener? Because now, and I'm not, at this point, I'm not out. I'm stupid young and just like stupid and drunk. And like, so yeah, that would be my worst. What am I even talking about? God, I'm so stupid right now. I'm like so tired. Yeah, so I don't really like regret. I don't really sleep with people and wake up and go, oh no. I usually have to know you as well, just so you know. Okay. So I think that might be it for me. I can't even believe it's 46 minutes because I thought it was gonna be like a 10-minute show. So sorry if you're still here and you're still, you know, living it up with me. Thanks for listening and getting to know me a little bit better. I do have a sundry. Okay. And my sundry is, I really can't fucking do it with passwords right now. And I'm really fucking sick and tired of it. Okay. Like, why in the world are we going to, I know why we're doing it, but like, I can't keep up. You want me to change my password every 6 weeks. You want it to be 12 characters now with 14 exclamation points and make sure there's a capital letter on the end and at the beginning. I can't. Okay. Like, I can't do it anymore. I get so annoyed. Like, I almost reset my password literally every time I log into somewhere because I can't remember what it is. I used to be able to have the same password over and over and over, and I would be like, oh, that's fine, great. Now it's like, oh, well, this website requires you to have 16 characters with exclamation points in all caps. But this website, you need to do this XYZ and end it with a dash. It's like, I can't remember all these. Like, I have so many fucking websites I go to pay bills and to look up things, and I'm part of communities, and it's like, I can't remember any. Like, I wish there was a way to like scan my phone or something or do something. I don't know. It's fucking nuts. It is fucking nuts. Actually, I'd rather click a button. It texts me and I can just click and then it'll unlock the website. That might be an invention, actually. So don't take it. Oh God, we're going to hear about this in a year, like where it's like It's an automatic. So think about it. If you were to go to the website and you can't get in the website, and you click a button and you type in like your email or your username, and it'll text you, and then you just log in. God, it'd be beautiful. I don't know how that would work though, but yeah, so then nobody could ever really get in unless they're you, because you can't put in a fake number. You put in your phone number, and like if it matches my original number that I put in there, so like, oh, here I am, like I signed up for the website, here's my number, and every time I go there, they say enter your phone number and hit send. Boop, and then I go on my phone, I hit accept, and then it opens the website. Oh my God, I'm a genius. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys had to live through that. Make sure you give us a call, 614-721-5336, because we really do really appreciate you guys. We would love reviews. We'd love you to share. But honestly, we just want you to have fun and enjoy yourselves. So we'll be back with a regular episode next week, and Jim will be able to tell us all about Portugal and his adventures there. I don't really have any adventures that are happening for me. I'm just really tired and over it. Like I can't figure out how to get not overwork right now. I'm just like tired. I'm just fucking tired. So anyway, this has been another episode of Not Well. I'm Bobby. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great week. This is 97.1. You're listening to Delilah loves. Oh, well, real quick. Did you guys listen to Delilah? Okay. This bitch was so mean. She'd be like, you'd hear this sob story from some fucking poor, sad individual. Like, hi, my name's Karen, and I just want to say I met the greatest man in my life 5 years ago, and we've been, dating, and everything's been great. And so recently, we ended up breaking up, and I would like to dedicate a song to him because I still love him, and I would like to play Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. Then you have fucking Delilah. She's like, literally the first thing out of her mouth is like, yeah, love is hard. What did you do to get him to leave? She would be so fucking backhanded to the caller. Oh, so you met him 5 years ago. Are you sure he wasn't with somebody else? Well, you met him, she was unhinged. She still is unhinged. And I think she's still on the radio. So anyway, that's literally the last thing I'm going to say. But yeah, so Delilah, baby. All right. See you guys. Bye.